Final exams are like a marathon, not a sprint. The difference between sinking in stress and crossing the finish line? Strategy. Here's how to tackle exam week like a pro and come out on top. Welcome back to another episode of Darius College Steps to Success. And today I'll be talking about how to manage that stress when final exams come around and also complete those final exams, whether that's being tests, whether that's being projects and presentations, or just all those lengthy things that you have to get done during final exam week. Because final exam week really makes you question if you are built for this college thing. And going on to my last year, final exam week is still rough. But my first word of advice is to grab a piece of paper or a big construction piece of paper or something in your notebook and split your life down and put academic and put personal on it. Academic is the assignments that you have coming up, or the presentations or the projects or the papers, that stuff. And personal is your personal life, whether you need to get to the gym, whether you need to go get an oil change, whether all that other stuff, that's personal. So I did that last year and it helped me out a bunch because although final exam, it was close, but it wasn't like that week. It helps you kind of prioritize and set what things that you need to do, because I still had scholar stuff I had to turn in and research things. So it really helped me prioritize what meetings go where, what assignments are here, what's something that I need to start working on, because my professor mentioned it like 2 weeks beforehand saying, hey, your paper is due on this day. So if you take a sheet of paper, a big construction board, just like anything that you could write on, and split it down the middle, almost like a T-chart, and put academic and personal, that really helps you section your life how the way you want it so you won't get overwhelmed, because that was my first time doing that last year, and it really helped me a bunch. So I was able to see what's coming up, what's already passed, and actually be able to physically mark that stuff off with like a marker or a Sharpie or something like that, and feel the weight just slowly dripping off my shoulders. That really helped me a lot because I finished stuff and I was able to mark it off and mark this off and mark that up. So it felt good sectioning my life that way, because final exam time gets really, really intense. So that's a word of advice for that, because that kind of goes into like planning ahead. So create a study schedule that covers all subjects, prioritizing the most challenging topics. So if you feel like you need to spend a little bit more time on one class, go ahead and do that. If you feel like you need to spend a little less time on these other classes because you got it and you feel like you're going to pass, sure. So go ahead and make that study list, that study schedule. Break your study sessions also into chunks, 25 to 30 minutes of studying, and then also give yourself breaks, because giving yourself breaks while studying, it helps a lot. I remember I don't give myself breaks, and I didn't give myself breaks when I was doing papers, 3 or 4 papers in one day, because I wanted to get everything done. That really affected my mental health, because I was in the library all day. I was in the library all day, and then after that I went to the campus center and finished up. And after that whole day, I was done. I was burnt out. And yes, I got everything done in one day, but I minimized my breaks to the least it could be, which was probably like little to none. I might have stepped off a little bit and watched some YouTube here and there, but you should probably do 25 to 30 minutes and then break for like 5 to 10 minutes, because I don't know how I did it, but you need those breaks in between hand. And you also will probably have presentations like after I still have presentations to do after that long day of getting papers done. I still have stuff to do on Monday, and I didn't feel like getting up in front of the class and doing a presentation because I was still burnt out from Friday about everything stuff. And it wasn't due until like a week from that Friday I had completed it, but I was trying to get everything done and I was definitely burnt out. So don't do that. Don't be like me in that aspect. So make sure when you're like on that T-chart, like I said, academic and personal, when you make that, put your exam dates, paper dates, presentation dates in locations to avoid those last minute surprises. And so some people might use their calendar. I do personally a lot this semester because there's just a lot of things going on and I'm more outside of my room than inside of my room. So I need a calendar, but I would say that having it on pencil and paper is really helpful for those of you that still use pencil and paper out there. But if you can make sure that you can organize it in your notes and check it off, or put it in your calendar and check it off as you go by, then that's cool too. So this leads in to my next point, which is taking care of your health. Like that time where I spent like the whole day in the library. I think I spent like 10 to 5. And then after that, I went to the campus center from like 5 to 10 or something. I spent like the whole day like in the library. I don't remember even if I got something to eat because I was trying to stay so locked in. Don't do that. You need to eat. Eating is important when you're trying to pull those full days or those all-nighters. You got to eat. So get enough sleep. I unfortunately did not get enough sleep because I'm in RA. So that day I had planned to still be in the library all day and get stuff done all day. I had got woken up a few times in the middle of the night to go do lockouts. And so I woke up and I was like, nope, I'm still planning on doing what I need to do. I shouldn't have done that. I should have got at least 2 to 4 more hours extra asleep because my sleep cycle had got messed up because of those calls. No, because the day before I said I already planned to go to the library all day, so I'm not going to. So don't be stubborn like me in that and be like, I already planned this, so whatever happens beforehand, I'm not going to make adjustments. So I shouldn't have done that because I was not fully there when I was trying to write my papers. I still went back over them, but I wanted to be done, but I wasn't fully there because I got woken up in the middle of the night and I didn't take that extra 2 to 4 hours of sleep to be in the right mind to do those papers and stuff like that. So it did take me a little bit longer for each paper to complete. So try your best to get enough sleep and avoid pulling all-nighters. I know a lot of college students pull all-nighters. If you can't help it, don't do it. Do not pull an all-nighter. Make your schedule and stick to that schedule and make adjustments that you need to make. Do not pull all-nighters, please, because they really mess you up and maybe you won't be able to recall. I mean, some people think all-nighters are cool because then they'll be able to get up and be able to be like, oh, I studied this all night. But for me, I've never pulled an all-nighter to study. The most I have pulled like a quote-unquote all-nighter is like when I'm staying up till 11:59 to get an assignment done. So all-nighters aren't really great for your sleep. It's not great for your sleep cycle. It's not great for your health and such. So I know there's plenty of people that pull all-nighters that probably listen to me like, man, I pull all-nighters and I'm fine. But I would not suggest it. I would never do that and never put myself through that after 11:59 when my assignment is due, because you just have to be responsible with that stuff. So don't pull all-nighters if you really can't help it. So while you're doing that studying, stay hydrated and avoid excessive caffeine. Ooh, did I hurt somebody's feelings with that? Avoid excessive caffeine. Throughout my whole college career, I've never been on caffeine. I've never drinking coffee to stay up or to do stuff. I've never had energy drinks to stay up and get things done. I'm not gonna say I've never had one, but I would just have one as like as a drink next to my meal. But that excessive caffeine, because then you become, I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it. You need it every day. You needed to get through stuff. You needed to stay up through night because you're not used to pulling all-nighters. And the one time you did, you pulled it off of caffeine. So avoid that excessive caffeine, like excessive, like too much, like 2 Starbucks coffees a day or 2 energy drinks a day, one in the morning, one in the night and stuff like that. Don't do all of that stuff, because then you're really going to mess your body up, because then you'll be falling asleep at times where you don't need to be falling asleep. And some people are like, man, I've been on caffeine all my college career and I've been fine. And this is something I just got to do. I'm like, but me personally, I will never be on caffeine to stay awake and to stay doing stuff and pulling all-nighters and stuff, because it's not healthy. It's not healthy. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, because a lot of college students I know are on caffeine to keep them awake, to keep them studying and working hard. But for me personally, I won't be on it. So avoid that caffeine if you can really help it. I almost thought about getting on it because I am student teaching, and I was like, no, I'm just going to stick to willpower. I'm going to stick to my schedule. I'm going to stick to hard work and continually do it. And it's not nothing wrong with caffeine. It's the excessive amount of it, like thinking you need it every single day. So yeah, exercise and stretch to relieve stress and improve concentration. So during the time when I'm doing finals, the last couple of years, I make sure I go to the gym and just kind of burn that anxiety that's kind of in my stomach, because sometimes I'm nervous about turning in papers. Sometimes I'm nervous about doing presentations. So I would go to the gym, do a little stretch, go run outside. Well, it's about to start get warmer now. So I run outside just to relieve that extra anxiety and that extra stress, because it really helps, because then I'm not thinking about it for the next couple of days or so. So go to the gym if you can. Go for a short walk. Go enjoy nature. Just go outside. Don't stay cramped inside of your dorm or the library like me that whole day. Didn't even take a walk. Or the campus center or any other location where you're just studying all day. You're not going to get no fresh air, none of that. So go get some fresh air. Go exercise. Go stretch. Go do something that will relieve that anxiety. So again, that leads to taking breaks and managing stress. Step outside for a fresh air or do a quick workout to refresh your mind. So use relaxation techniques like deep breathing and meditation or journaling. I like to journal. I haven't done it, I think, in the last couple of weeks, but I like to journal about what's going on in my life and things that are coming up, things I'm excited for, aka graduation I'm excited for. So things I like to say that are coming up and opportunities that I have. Make sure I like putting that on paper to see that, hey, I'm actually doing what I need to be doing. So journal, take deep breaths, meditate, pray, do all that stuff to just relieve yourself, just to stay calm and to stay focused during the final exam week. Stay motivated and keep a positive mindset. So this is something that I never used to do, but rewarding myself, I still don't do. I go through the motions every day and I never reward myself over what I'm doing, what opportunities are coming up. And that's terrible. I'm going to just say that's terrible for me, because I need to learn how to reward myself a lot more, because I'm just going through the motions of like, this is what I have to do. This is how I'm going to do it. Wake up, repeat the cycle every single day. So reward yourself after completing like your study goals. So a treat, a short walk, or an episode of your favorite show. So any of that stuff, those are just examples. So treat, a short walk, an episode of your favorite show, any of that stuff to just help you stay motivated and keep a positive mindset in trying to get your degree. So remind yourself, this is something that I try to do now. Remind yourself of past successes to boost confidence. So remind yourself that you did pass them last 5 finals that you had to do last semester, or you were just offered an internship position, or any of that positive stuff, you know? So remind yourself of the past things that you do, and don't be too caught up in what's going on now, or you might fail, or you're stressed and you're angry and you're sad and all that stuff. Don't be too caught up in final exam time about final exams, because it gets rough. It gets, you get kind of this negative mindset if you get too caught up and you don't remind yourself that, hey, I've made it this far and I'm going to keep going. I did this. I've jumped over mountains. I've lifted cars, just examples. But, you get my analogy. You've done stuff way out of your comfort zone, way out of the ordinary to get to where you are today. So reminding yourself that doing what you're doing is a good way to keep yourself motivated. Reminding yourself that, hey, like I just got an A on my last exam, or my last paper, or my last even discussion post. Hey, just reminding yourself of those little rewards and those little successes can go a long way, just to help you remember why you're getting your degree. Because it's been moments where I'm like, why am I getting this degree or these degrees again? What is my purpose again? And the moment final exam week happens, I'm telling you, it's the worst weekend to decide if you are going to continue college or you're not going to continue, because final exams are every single semester. And professors all assign stuff at the same time. So take time for yourself and remind yourself of the past things, of the past good work that you have done. And lastly, preparing for that exam day. This goes back to my do not pull all-nighters. So you need to get everything ready the night before and not pull, again, all-nighters. Get enough sleep, 6 to 8 hours, please, before you go into that testing room, before you go into that classroom to take that exam. Get enough sleep. Because if you try to push everything and study for everything at one time and at one night, try to cram, that's the word I'm looking for. Trying to cram, that's not going to be good for you in the morning. You won't remember everything. You remember parts of stuff, but you won't remember everything. There's just no way trying to cram. And sometimes cramming works for people that just study for like 7 to 8 hours the night before. But you need to study before, the days before, not just the night before, to say that, hey, I'm a pass with that presentation you got the next day. Practice days before, not practicing all night before, and then you get up there, you don't know what you're saying, and you're looking at the answers on your exam, you're like, which one's the answer again? I just studied this, So prepare for exam day, prepare for exam presentation, not exam presentation, prepare for presentations and all that other stuff. So arrive early. That's something I try to tend to do, and look over stuff before the tests and exams are passed out or before it's my turn to present. I silently mumble to myself with my index cards, or I silently look at the notes I took before class has started, before the professor says to put everything away. So try to get there early so you're not trying to get there when it starts and you're like, man, I didn't get a chance to look over stuff. So try to get there a little bit early. And lastly, read through the exam carefully before starting. That's just, again, with papers, presentations. Read through the instructions clearly. Read through the answers professors are looking for. Just read it thoroughly, and you'll get everything that you want out of the exam. Even if you don't think you're going to do as good, read it thoroughly. Read it multiple times. That's what the day is for. Exam day is to focus solely on the exam. So that is it for me on today's episode of Darius College Steps to Success with learning how to manage final exam time. Trust me, it's rough. My first semester, I was like, is this for me? And look at me on my last semester of college. And it really weeds out if you're going to continue college or not, just because everything is assigned, again, at the same exact time. So you have to manage it correctly. You have to manage it well to be able to move on to the next semester, or you'll drown and crash. But again, it's a marathon. You have to keep doing it each semester. So your first semester, it's going to be a little rocky. The second semester, you should get a little bit better with your techniques. Third semester, better, and so on and so forth. So by your last semester, you're like, oh, final exam time? Yeah, this is light work. This is easy. So thanks for listening to another episode from Darius College Steps to Success. Have a great day whenever you're listening to this. Great night, great evening, and be blessed. Thank you.